Before we begin our meeting, we would like to acknowledge that Stewie Actors in the Fontaine, the Access Bureau, and unceded territory of the Fontaine. We'll call to order. We have everybody in attendance. The approval agenda. Are there any changes to the agenda? Councilor Alpert.
I'd just like to make an addition under 14, personnel matters.
Okay.
And with that, I'll make a motion that we approve the agenda as amended.
We have a seconder. All in favor? Wait. Disclosure of interest. Are there any disclosure of interest on the agenda? There are none. We'll move right on to the approval of the minutes from the committee of the whole, June the 12th of 2025, and the council meeting of 2026. Councilor,
Are we doing the committee of the whole first?
if you can.
Okay. Under attendance, we did have regrets from the deputy mayor, so those should be noted. Vigilant.
And the council of June 26, 2025.
There's one other item on the committee of the whole, and that's just the under 14, the in-camera session coming out. The motion was actually made by Councilor LeBlanc and seconded by myself.
Thank you. Now, was there anything for June 26 of 2025?
Just one thing, actually two things, sorry. D was not on the agenda, so that should be removed, planning advisory committee. And then E, the bylaw and policy committee report should actually state a verbal update was provided by the deputy mayor. That's all I've got.
Thank you. With that, you'll approve the minutes from the video of the whole of the council meeting June the 12th, June 26th. Announcements and proclamations, there's none. Presentations. We have no presentations. Written petitions and correspondence. I don't believe we have anything speaking, but I will confirm that a petition submitted by Ms. Shannon McPhee was received at Town Hall by our CAO clerk on Friday, July the 9th of 2025, and that the petition has been circulated to council for review. We'll move on to business and we'll pass it over to our CAO.
Okay. Thank you. In terms of oral reports, public works report, we have completed, as you're aware, the Main Street paving project, and we finished that up by painting all the lines along Main Street and finished all of the crosswalks in the area that were needing to be repainted. In addition to that, the community may have noticed the new crosswalks near the cenotaph, the Lest We Forget logo or Canadian flag. I want to thank our friends at the Canadian Legion Branch 70 for their assistance with this crosswalk. Special thanks to Don Chapman, who project managed and coordinated getting all the stenciling, and the Legion for their assistance on that. The Public Works team finished those last week. We had a little media opportunity with staff for Legion to take some photographs of that project. Lewis Street, over the last couple of weeks, we've had a water main break on Lewis Street. There were 6 homes impacted. They were all notified. The line was fixed within 24 hours. We also had an emergency water issue at the community center. It was a plumbing leak. The plumbing bathrooms have resulted in a small leak and flood in the fire department down below. That was fixed in the last week as well. In terms of community development, town-based committee, again, they're proceeding with the Wild West theme, promotion donation package circulated. Our boardwalk replacement project, we awarded that through council a while back. When I wrote this report, we were in the construction phase. We actually finished the project at the schedule, and it's open as of today. We'll notify the public tomorrow with some photos, so if you're down on the boardwalk at the trail, check it out. It's quite impressive. just in terms of overall, police, presence and safety, we reported to them vandalism at Dennis Park. We're consistently seeing vandalism at Dennis Park. We've seen some vandalism for splash pad. In the last week or so, the washroom buildings were vandalized overnight. Public staff had to clean that up. Nothing extensive, but took quite a bit of cleanup. It was all cosmetic damage. However, what we've done to combat that, we've now installed cameras at Dennis Park. So our IT staff in the last week installed Wi-Fi point to point from Town Hall, Dennis Park. We now have a video link to Dennis Park. We will be reporting any vandalism at Dennis Park directly to the RCMP. We passed the RCMP to increase patrols there. So if anybody, in the community sees any instances, please report them directly to our CMP or bring it forward to Town Hall. So we're aware. Our summer jobs program is running really well. Staff at the summer camp are welcoming many young people from our community. That's going well. Our after school program enrollment is at capacity for 2025-26. So we're seeing great success there as well. And we've installed new washers to the ball field. We will install the new washers to the ball field as they're arriving on July 17th. The finance update, the audit committee, they're currently reviewing all accounts to finalize the trial balances and working with paper files, adjustments. We're working with the auditor and NP. It's been a slight delay with some unforeseen circumstances, but we're still on target with the audit. The audit committee meeting is scheduled for July the 29th. Fire updates. Had a conversation with our fire chief, Mark Rozier. They spent 22.5 hours on scene in the last month. So see a firefighter, thank them. They're spending a lot of time in the field keeping our community safe. We're working with them to make sure that they have our support as much as we can. And they're spending a lot more hours than they anticipate. Our CMP, again, vandalism at Dennis Park, talked to them about some traffic related issues. And they're increasing patrols as we bring it to their attention. So with that, that's the update that was going to be for the last weeks. I'm going to take any questions. Do you have any questions? Great. Okay, so the next item up is SPCA report. This report is going to just follow up on a previous conversation with SPCA. On March 26, 2025, the SPCA notified the town who was under contract with the SPCA that our services were going to be cut off as of June 27th, 2025. Town of Stewiacke was one of 8 communities impacted by this change. The SPCA in the past has provided law enforcement, shelter, kettling services, and patrol and care to the town of Stewiacke. And based on significant financial and resource challenges, that's why our services were being cut. As I stated, 8 municipalities were impacted. What we have done is we started to explore possibilities for the future. However, being one of the only communities in our area impacted by this, partnership opportunities right now are limited. Truro and Colchester both have been retained by the SPCA. Our neighbors in East Hants, they were notified that their services will be cut March 31st, 2026. So since I last reported, I have had meetings with East Hants, and we will be looking at opportunities to partner or look at some sort of services for the area. In the meantime, SPCA, I have talked to them. They have offered a continuance of service, and it's a pay for service option for us. They are offering the same services that we had before, which are dealing with fierce and dangerous dogs, high priority investigations related to animal welfare, public safety. SPCA officers can support our bylaw efforts, assisting with ongoing investigation, transporting fierce and dangerous dogs to a private facility designated by the municipality. What that means for Stewiacke is that, we would have to pay for the service. Regular hours would be provided between the hours of 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. It would have been up to a total of $1,500 per call, and that is up to 3 hours. Additional time, we bill at $250 an hour apart, until the officers return to the port of origin. That would also include mileage, or sorry, not include mileage, mileage would be extra. And there is a charge for, after hours, after weekday hours, which would be 4 p.m. to 8 a.m. Which is essentially, time and a half, which is a $375 charge. When you look at the breakdown of costs, from 2022 through to 2025, 2022, we had 3 calls in total, 2023, 3 calls in total. 2024, we had 4 calls, and 2025, we had a total of 4. In the 2024-25 budget, we had $12,000 approved by council to cover the cost of the SPCA, which was $1,000 a month. If you take the total average of our last 4 years, it's an average of 4.75 calls a year to the SPCA for service, which would, based on their cost estimates for pay for service right now, estimate be about $7,500 per year for a full 12-month term. What I'm recommending to council right now is we look for an interim solution to continue the service. Look for council to endorse $1,000 per month, which is according to the budget approved in 2024-25. For this fiscal year, the impact we equate to a total of 8 months only, from July to March 31st, 2026, or $8,000 to cover estimated services required by the town. It is an estimate. It's based on calls. It's based on pay for service. There are not many options out there, and we will continue to look for options as we proceed. With that, staff will recommend the SPCA proposal for service be accepted. And then, as part of the long-term solution, staff continue to look for options and report back to council.
So there's no contract or anything where it's a call by call basis, we don't have to provide anything, we just don't call. If we don't want them anymore, we find another service, we don't need to.
That's correct. So we only call them if we encounter a problem and need them. And all I can do is give my best estimate based on the number of calls they responded to over the last 4 years, which is equivalent to approximately 4.75 calls.
You mentioned that it's a dangerous dog call. Correct me if I'm wrong, but did you say that they transported to where we want to transport it to?
It would be to a facility we would agree to. I believe the closest facility to us for SPCA is in Truro. I can get that information, but it's close as, but also if the point of origin for the officer is coming out of Dartmouth or that area, they probably transport the dog down there as well.
If somebody found a dead cat on the side of the road, how do we dispose of that? Because you can't put a dead cat in the green bin.
Good question. So delicate answer is SPCA does not respond to cats that respond to live and dangerous animals. That would be a public works related question. And public works staff have been diligent with dealing with that person. Go kill humane and caring attitude. I guess.
Okay,
What I'm trying to say.
Yeah, it's just to remind ourselves, you can't put dead animals in the green bin.
Right.
So overall, at 4.75 calls that we average, we're still saving money based on 12,000 improvement. Should be costing us $12,000 a year to continue the service at these new prices.
I'll use the term should delicately. It totally depends on the number of calls. It would depend on the type of call. So if the SBC officers needed overtime to deal with the issue, or transport mileage, things like that, I'm just giving you my best estimate based on the pay for service at this point. But based on the service from March to now, we have had no calls with the SPCA from March to July. So, our best, case scenario is just averaging there 4.75 and getting the best estimate. I believe we can, come in under the 12,000 based on this, and then look for a long-term solution if we have more control of. East Hants, and myself, their staff, they're looking at their termination date of March 26th. And we would, potentially find some sort of partnership opportunity with them. And look for other partners in the area as well, so, just because they're not going off until then, they're not interested in doing it. Right.
If there is a call, do they try to send somebody from as close as possible, Toronto or Dartmouth, as opposed to somebody from like Yarmouth? Or Milan?
Great question. I asked them the same. So it'll be whatever officer is available. So they would do their best to deploy from the closest point of origin. But if somebody from Dartmouth is tied up, we have had, in the last year, I've seen dispatch an agent from Glasgow to come here. So it totally depends on where they're coming from. But that would impact travel time and mileage, things like that. It's just where the resources are available. And the resources are scarce based on budget.
We definitely service. I have to identify. Just gonna call for a motion on SPCA report.
I'll make that motion that council authorizes the CAO to enter into an agreement with this SPCA and that council approve $8,000 in the 2025-2026 operational budget for the SPCA services through to March 31st, 2026.
Do I have a second? All in favor? So I call for the discussion. All in favor? Opposed, carried.
Okay, so the last report, it's regarding a water reservoir maintenance. This information is being brought forward to council for information only. Reporting to council in June, we engaged Atlantic Integrated Water Utility Consultants, which is the division of CBCL Engineering, to assist with assessing our water utilities capital equipment and to assist with reporting compliance. We are required to report the Department of Environment. And right now with the hot weather, we're reporting pretty much daily, if not every second day, based on the water levels in the river, which are very low state right now. Full staff and the consultant are recommending that the town proceed with maintenance to our water reservoir at this time. The maintenance includes needed repairs to both water towers. During the repairs, the towers will be drained and cleaned to remove any sediment. In terms of background, repair the bolted steel water reservoirs located at the town's water treatment plant and on Windcrest are required to ensure the functionality and longevity of the assets. The water treatment plant tank is 25 feet in diameter, 35 feet tall. Windcrest is much larger at 95 feet tall. Inspection of the tanks has revealed some minor leakage between the panels, damaged aluminum dome covering the Windcrest tank that was damaged during either a windstorm or as a result of some ice in the winter. And some sediment needs to be cleaned from the tanks. Additionally, staff note that the Windcrest towers suffered damage we've done a drone shot of the tank, or the top of the tank. It's basically just a couple of panels along the perimeter of the rooftop. They've been secured and kept in place by staff at this time. But they're in need of immediate repairs to make sure that the tank is sustained. To do that, the cleaning, maintenance, and repair requirements of the two tanks are generally the same. However, the water treatment plant tank can be taken offline for service at present. The Windcrest tank provides essential balancing and fire storage to the system, requires more extensive modification to the pumping systems to be taken offline. This would require some project management by CBCL Engineering to make sure that we're maintaining all the systems correctly. We would be again pressure washing and brushing the interior of the tank, resealing any damaged steel sheets, replacing and repairing exterior panels. We would replace all the corrosion on any control anodes. And we repair any apparent leaks or broken seals between the panels and the floor. With the manufacturer, we reseal the dome on Windcrest, and the tanks would be brought up for the future. In terms of financial, we are going to be reporting back to council on this in August. This is not something we've budgeted for, but we need to proceed with. We've received a $2.5 million grant from the province last year. And I am in process with the province and the staff there to put the capital project and on that grant. We'll take this time to get a response back that we can proceed with that work. And I'll report back to council. Preliminary estimates for the recommended scope is about $350,000, which includes engineering, construction, and project management. And again, bring this forward to council for information. It's something staff are working towards. And it is what the environment.
Thank you. It's good news and hopefully it'll help with the water situation.
Questions?
When you say that the water towers need to be taken offline, how long and when do you anticipate that will be done? As we are definitely in a drought period right now.
Yeah.
So can you kind of explain that a little bit?
Great question. So the timing, you're exactly right, is that we do not want to do this during the high and dry season. So as we're looking at this through August, we've been looking at coming back to council in August. If we're able to get approval to proceed, we'd be looking at the fall months when it's cooler, the river level are higher. And we work with CBCL engineering to make sure that when we take the water treatment plant tank offline, that everything is then diverted to the Windcrest tank and adequate water pressure and systems are all up to where we need them to be.
Do you know how long that's gonna take though?
I don't know an answer on that. That would require us getting a contractor in place to do the work and getting an estimate from them. It would be done obviously as quickly as possible with the goal of meeting all the scope requirements and getting this back online. We would have backup provisions to deal with the water systems. Having CBCL engineering and Atlantic Water is essential right now to make sure, because our systems are quite complex, to make sure that we understand the systems, how they work, how this project.
Do you know any impact on the firefighting services that would?
I don't know any impact on the firefighting services right now, however, that would be part of the equation for CBCL. We would obviously, based on any impacts, bring the fire chief and fire team in to have the conversations with them and make sure that they're providing the best information and that the system is operating as efficiently as we can.
Thanks.
Is it just the, is Windcrest going offline as well or no?
So Windcrest is a little bit more complicated. We can't take Windcrest offline based on the system design. So it would be more a internal cleaning versus a full draining pressurized spray down and everything like that. So I need the contractors to verify how they would do it. But I understand there's two different systems. There's draining, cleaning, and there's also like early as well. So yes.
Okay.
Questions? So with that, I will come back in August with another report.
Thank you so much. By law and policies, we have citizens comments. Any comments this evening? Please state your name and where you're from.
And B, I'm a lifelong resident of Stuyac. As you can see from the agenda, I did submit a petition to the senior social along with a letter of correspondence. During this process, I realized, I learned a lot. I thought when a citizen sent in a document for correspondence, that it would be read at a council meeting. So I kind of asked some questions, and I have realized that, there's nothing that the town of Stuart is doing in violation of the municipal government act or anything, to that regard by not reading citizen comments. What I'd like to say just before I go a little bit further is I would like to see the town, do maybe a better job, instead of just fulfilling the obligations under the municipal act. Maybe break away, be the municipality that leads in being open and transparent and finding new ways of involving, citizens and maybe reading comments. So instead of doing the presentation, I'm just gonna read, what I sent in. So, Mayor and Council, the reason for this correspondence is to voice my concern regarding the fact that the senior social music events have been reduced from 11 to 5 for the 25-26 fiscal year. Upon discovering this information, I reached out to the council members on the rec committee along with the CAO to ask a number of questions and gather information on this issue and ask assistance for helping me understand why this program was being reduced. A council member had asked a variety of questions regarding the rec budget during council meetings and was looking for ways to save money in the budget, but the senior socials were not directly noted during these council meetings, other than a comment that the senior social budget was talked about in the park rec committee, excuse me, and a dollar amount had been established. Council member indicated through my correspondence that council does take recommendations from staff and budgets are made up of a number of factors, not just the monetary line. And I do realize that budget deliberations are a very difficult task and council cannot please everyone. I had hoped that along with budget considerations, other factors were considered, which could have included the value of our senior social music events and the benefit many seniors get from live music. I have been told by many of the seniors that live music is good for the soul, a great event to get them out of the house apartment, socialize. I feel it is the responsibility of the council and mayor to be more transparent in the decisions that are made. Most seniors were not even aware of this decision until it was effectively brought to their attention. Town council members, along with the mayor, have the ability to reject staff budget recommendations, and I still can't understand why this decision to reduce the budget was approved. My concerns were raised prior to the final budget approval. I asked council if they had looked at other budget lines outside the recreation budget for savings, so seniors' socials were not reduced, but I do not have an answer to that. From the bottom of my heart, I believe the seniors are a very intricate and valued part of our community, and I'm sure that the mayor and council do agree. However, I feel they have been overlooked in this situation. I realized the town had public meetings to discuss budget process and it was not well attended. However, citizens that I've talked to get discouraged when the presentations do not include any real details comparing, for instance, last year's budget to the proposed budgets for this year. It leaves citizens with not knowing what individual lines are being increased or decreased, and therefore they feel there's no point in attending because they don't even know what questions to ask. The budget cut for this program was a very small amount compared to the overall budgets. I respectfully submit this document as a formal request for council to reconsider their decision on reducing the senior social music events from 11 to 5 and reinstate the budget and number of events that were in the 24-25 budget. I have submitted a petition with 178 names signed by concerned citizens. I would like to just quickly note that you'll notice that some of the names are those that live outside of the town, and I ask you to consider them for some of the reasons. I'll name a few. And the people that I have talked to that live outside of town, they have joined their family and friends that live in Stuart and have provided transportation to these events. They're former residents of Stuart that come and join their family and friends for these events. When folks come to our town, they shop in our stores and support our town in ways other than paying taxes. When folks want to come to our community because of the events we provide and support, I would say that is a great message that Stuart is a great place to live and visit. I realize that the money must be found somewhere. And I was always told if you have a problem, maybe make a suggestion. And, the only suggestion that I've had at this time was that I realized that the increase for mayor and council was given to bring them up to a more comparable rate with other municipalities. And I would also like to acknowledge the time and effort that it takes to fulfill these roles and thank you for your town service. I believe that the savings for the 2 less council members maybe consider moving from your increase in your remuneration to reinstate the senior musicals. I'm hoping that you will find a way to find. The other item that I had listed was a new line in the budget for $2,000, but I see the tablets. I was going to suggest not purchasing tablets, but I see the tablets are purchased. Again, just in summary, transparency is a huge issue, and these 2 items that I suggest to consider were not public knowledge for the most part. I did some homework, asked for 50 minutes, and went to the town office and asked for comparative budget documents. And only then did I feel like I had enough information to ask questions. My last point is the fact that these senior social music events, the cost would be much higher without the many volunteer hours from Bill Holloway organizing these events, providing his equipment, as well as his rapport with the musicians that provide a much reduced rate, along with the Life Point Church that provide their building and equipment free of charge. And last, I want to just do a shout out to whoever provided the flowers in town and the town staff that takes such good care of them. And I can't remember her name, but anyway,
She's good.
I wanted to do a shout out to her. The flowers in town look great. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll take that under consideration. All right. Any more citizen comment?
I have a question. If your SPCA budget that you've approved for the lower amount. If the count for them having to come out in a year is way less than the 8,500. Can that not be transferred to the next year and you can have a higher increase in expense the following year?
You don't normally answer questions for this, if you wanna try to give her a
Yeah,
a shot.
I mean, it would certainly help as far as if you have like a low count, 3 or 4 in 1 year and 7 or 8 the next year.
Yeah, so if we would for next year better analyze what our recommendation would be and would make a recommendation in the budget. This year, if we came under, it would just be transferred in as a positive.
Yeah, well, personally, I'd like to say, thank you, Shannon, that was, a really good recap of, your concerns, and all I wanted to add to that was that, several points that Shannon has touched on. Go to some of the issues that, I've actually been correspondence with, Eric Glasser and, our CAO, with regards to transparency and standardizing, how we do things. So this is not a criticism of council. Like in my heart of hearts, I believe everybody that sits at this table is trying to do a job for us. And I think sometimes like with maybe what happened with Garrett, this issue with cut back to, these events it's just basically boils down to around their all discussions that happen. For example, who was, and the thing is that if you're gonna make a decision as council or a counselor and put a motion forward, you shouldn't be ashamed to hide behind your decision, because you should be able to feel confident you can back that up, why the decision you made be made. I mean, that's what we ask you to do when we elect you, is to make good decisions for us. Right? And you can't keep everybody happy all the time. We all know that. So I think some of those things, like for example, Mr. Stone and I had talked a bit about it in our emails about recording not just council meetings, And not just meeting MGA, because to me, that's sort of like. That's the bare minimum. And it's a known fact that there are some councils that do a little bit above and beyond that. And it's sort of like a union contract, if it doesn't say you can't do it, you can do it, sort of thing. So just some things like that, just adopt a standard. Set a timeline to when these things might be posted. And then stick to that. I mean, if it's 60 days or whatever it is, basically, because it's the administration staff that have to do this stuff. Then whatever's realistic, but be consistent and not, what I'm asking you to do is not just to meet MGA. But exceed MGA. Like, look at that as the bar. The bar's not very high. And there's nothing that's stopping anybody from this taking the initiative to do better. That's all I'm asking. Thank you.
Thank you. You don't want it?
Cindy, I'm still, yeah, I've only been here for a couple of years, but just to touch on that, which I'm totally agree with, I just want to say I've only recently started kind of coming to meetings to stop and try to become more involved. And I just want to note that some of the committee meetings and stuff that I've attended, that many members of the council have talked about some transparency improvements that they've been made coming in the fall and stuff, so I just kind of wanted to acknowledge that. I know that it is something that sounds looking at, and I appreciate that as much as we all do. Thank you.
Great. Move right along, mayor report, we met with our MLA and Buckley's founder, who was with one of Mark Carney's right or left hands, whatever you want to call him, in regards to our new water treatment facility that is coming, and they are on board with us. And I just want to let everybody know that council is working very, very hard to get the water solution fixed for us and all of our business people. We're working on making our water smell, taste, and look better with what we're dealing with, and Mr. Segan here has really made the revolving. We'll have that coming forward, and I'm very pleased with the progress that we're all making. I'm very happy with the work that we've all done about the thing.
I have nothing to see then.
I just wanted to remind everyone that Street Up Town Days is August 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. The committee has been working very, very hard to set a full program. Again, this year, all events are a go. The program was uploaded onto our website and all the social media activities. There will be printed copies around town as well. Very, very pleased with the engagement from our business communities and partners this year. We have, our sponsors this year have come out far more than what they have in the last number of years. And I just want to thank all the volunteers, and especially thank Erin Richard for her commitment and her time for not just Town Days, but for many, many, many other projects that she works on. That is it.
Wonderful. Thank you.
I attended the 75th anniversary of the library here, as well as the other locations. So just to remind ourselves that the library's been around for a long time, and they're doing a really great job. And one of the things I'm kind of proud of is the amount of high school students that they've hired working in over the years. And I hope that we continue in that kind of vein.
Okay. So that'll bring us to the end. We will move to in camera. Gotta go home meeting at 7:41.
I'll make that motion.
You have seconded?
I can second.
Discussion? Favor?
No,
Carried.
See ya. See you. See Jordan.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
I'm really excited, yeah. Thanks.
Big.